What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So as promised, we're going to take a look around the collection. Now, I'm going to try to make it as painless as possible. We'll kind of do a walkthrough. I don't want to make this video too ridiculously long, but we're going to kind of peruse through and maybe look at some of the highlights that I feel anyways on each shelf and just kind of go over everything. So this has been in high demand for a few years now, and here it is. Let's take a look at TLTG Reviews Fragrance Collection. Stay tuned. So let me get a nice wide angle shot for you guys just to kind of peruse everything, if you will. So these shelves I get asked about all the time. These are $200 a piece. It's a 5-tier setup, 4-tier, 5-tier, and that's $199, different wood sizes. Each shelf holds 100 pounds, rated for 100 pounds. So let's go ahead and start from left to right. So we'll start over here. So we have Aqua de Parma, Jacques Fath, which Verlassou, no secret, big fan of this one. We have 5 fragrances from the house of Jacques Fath. Here's all my Aqua de Parmas with fragrances such as Colonia Pura, personal favorite of mine. We have Chinotto di Liguria. We have Bergamoto di Calabria, I believe right here, exactly. And so on, quite a lot to offer. Aqua de Sextius, hanging out right there. Figman hiding in the back. Then we have fragrances like Strange Paradise, beautiful sweet coconut fragrance. Then we have my 301s. Molinard, Atelier Cologne, some Guerlains from the L'Homme Ideal line, and then some random stuff such as Lumari Porthole. We have Scent Journey fragrances back here. Mango Thai Lime. Just like I said, I'm just going to go over a few highlights. Next shelf down, we have the entire house of Happyland Studios. This is some 60 mLs as well as 30 mLs going all the way across. All of my favorites from Sammy Andrus Fragrances. Icon de Parfum. Day 3 Fragrances. Icon de Parfum. Rogue Perfumes. Goblin Parfums, my apologies, Rogue. This is the best of the bunch. It's a beautiful Chypre, in my opinion. Then you have Humidor, beautiful sweet tobacco. Then we have all of Authenticity Perfume. So we've got a lot of indie stuff right here. Moving down, Raja Parfums. Quite the collection. Here we have Elysium Parfum and Isola Blue, 2 of my personal favorites. And then we go across. This is another personal favorite of mine, Harrods Parfum Pour Homme. Right behind that we have Manhattan. And then what's, in my opinion, the best Amber Oud rose fragrance out there, Raja Parfum's Amber Oud. Huge fan of that one. We have Diaghilev back there. Several of the 50 mLs. Parfum Cologne collection, Apex, as well as Elysium Eau Intense. And then Apex Parfums back here. We have some Tom Fords. Some of the fresher stuff from Tom Ford, as well as the remainder of my Raja Parfums fragrances. My current love for designers in Brioni, Kenzo. Yes, that's my abysmal Chanel collection. 2 great ones, but that's all I have. Replica fragrances from Margiela. Ambassador Intense is actually on my desk, which we'll look at in a little bit. Been really digging the Giussata Ambassador fragrances. As we move down here just a little bit, some Youp fragrances, Vince Camuto, Jimmy Choo, Missoni, Blue Atlas Atlantis, underappreciated fragrance, Lalique, the ultimate, what used to be Cheapy Gem, Sean John 3 AM, Guess and Sean John fragrances, Antonio Banderas. And then random designers down here. We have some Mugler fragrances, Pacha de Cartier Parfum. As you can see, just a bunch of random variety, Carolina Herrera stuff, Dunhill, Halloween Man Flankers, Sculpture Homme. And we have some David Beckham and Hollister fragrances over here. Cristiano Ronaldo. Then as we slide over, we're back to more designers. Diesel, True Religion, Michael Kors, Ed Hardy. You see a theme there, don't you? Banana Republic, Abercrombie and Fitch, Tommy Hilfiger. As we slide up, we're on the Dolce & Gabbana section. The One series. On into it, transitions over to the Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme fragrances, which spawns into all of the light blue flankers. Not all of them, but a bunch of them. Dolce & Gabbana K, EDT, and EDP, the Moschino fragrances that I have. Some Rochas fragrances. Then we start going into Hugo Boss. The remainder of this shelf is Hugo Boss. Big fan of the Boss House. These are the lines that I have. The Man line, the Boss Bottled line, the Boss the Scent line, with a couple little random gems here and there. And then up here we have Dior. So I don't have any private blend stuff from Dior, but we have all minus the cool spray of the Sauvages, with a beautiful gem like Fahrenheit Le Parfum hanging back here. Dior Homme line coming across. The only ones I don't have is Vintage Homme Intense, Silver Stem Vintage Homme, and Silver Stem Vintage Dior Homme Cologne. Then we have the Ralph Lauren fragrances, which is the whole middle section of this. Polo Blue line, Polo Green line, some Polo Red stuff. We have Eau Sauvage fragrances. Then we have the Ralph's Club fragrances here in the back, and then Prada, which I don't have a ton of variety from Prada outside of a few lines, which 3 L'Homme fragrances. L'Homme Low, which is my favorite, also my biggest bottle of them. That's the big 5.1 ounce, beautiful soapy iris line. Speaking of soapy fragrances, Amber Pour Homme, and then Luna Rossa Ocean. Here we're moving back up to Indie Niche. City Rhythm. If you haven't experienced anything from the House of City Rhythm, you are missing out. My 2 personal favorites are right here in the front. That's why they're in the front. New Orleans Jazz and Booze, beautiful bourbon fragrance, and then a tropical St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands fragrance. Sphinx fragrances, one of the best new niche houses to come out in a long time. There's a lot of really, really good stuff from this house. Sphinx Elixir being the cream of the crop, in my opinion. Marimetta fragrances really put out some good stuff. Then we have some serious artistry with Untamed Perfumes My Greek Lover, which is my personal favorite from the brand. Here's more from them. Then we have some Sweet Off fragrances, a bunch of those here. Here's a good highlight. Watermelon Shine XXX from Copper Still Fragrances is a stunner. Maison Daba Sovereign, very underappreciated. Gentleman's Nods fragrances, Musashi being my favorite of the bunch. I have a few other random things in here. Then sliding on over, Zaharoff. Now these are the only ones that I kept the boxes for, because I mean that's pretty obvious with the artistry that goes behind these. These are the only 2 out of the boxes, of course, are my 2 creations with Zaharoff, Business Over Pleasure and Evening Mystique. And then we got everything else boxed. Jean Paul Gaultier, Le Beau fragrances in the back, and then some Le Male flankers here up top. Yves Saint Laurent, which Y Eau Fraiche is over on my desk. The stuff currently in rotations over on the desk. We'll look at that last. But L'Homme and La Nuit de L'Homme, we have some variety here. Underappreciated. La Nuit de L'Homme Le Parfum, my actual personal favorite. A lot of people's favorite discontinued gem, L'Homme Ultime. Have a lot of variety here with that. Giorgio Armani section. The Aqua de Jo line, which King of the Mountain, always and forever, wrong one, will be Profumo, as a lot of you will agree with. Then we have the Strong With You line, which I'm a huge fan of, with this being the highlight, in my opinion. Absolutely is the best one. Armani Code. Eau de Nuit from Armani. Moving down, we have Calvin Klein. Beautiful Calvin Klein section going throughout. CK1 Summer flankers. The Defy line, some randomness here. Then one of the best men's fragrances lines of all time, Spice Bomb, which the newest release is indeed my favorite, Infrared Eau de Parfum, but you can't go wrong with any of them. Then we have a Mont Blanc section here with all 3 of the Explorer line, the Legend line, the Star Walker fragrances, and so on. The Emblem line, very underappreciated. Emblem Intense, the best one. Kenneth Cole, Hanaï Mori, discontinued gem, Fashionable Riviera. If you can find this for 20 bucks at the rack stores, jump on it. It's basically like very spicy Dylan Blue. It's much spicier than Dylan Blue, very much in the same vein. This is at the rack stores right now too. I saw this at Beal's the other day. Beautiful orange watery fragrance, super casual, underrated. Mankind Unlimited, that's some good stuff. Really good stuff. Then we have 3 of the 4 Eros fragrances. The only one I don't have is the Eau de Toilette, because I don't really feel like I need it. I guess I kind of have to have it since I have the others, but Flame's the best in my opinion. Versace, Givenchy, Narciso Rodriguez, I only have two. My Hermes fragrances, Coach. And then the Tous Man fragrances. And down here we go to Gucci. Underappreciated right here. Chamomile tea, floral, a little woodsy. Beautiful stuff. Memoir d'une Adore. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Gucci Sport, made to measure. Some of the Gucci Guilty line. We have the Intense, the Cologne, the Absolute, and oh, then we move into Ferragamo. No Secret for My Love, for the House of Salvatore Ferragamo. Aqua Cinziale Blue, one of the fragrances most notable for this channel. Burberry, some random stuff. A bunch of English Laundry, another staple early on in this channel. As we slide over, we have an empty shelf of room for expansion with Nichane. And my only two bottles from MFK, two of the best in my opinion. One of the best new releases for niche this year, Faces of Francis. Beautiful aldehydes and warm spice, very metallic, from Wilhelm. Agneta from 8 and Bob, one of the best niche releases of last year. We have some variety. We have Ormond Jane, Amarud, Zaharoff. Have my two Lonesome Bond number 9s in the back. We got a bunch of variety here. Electimus, Mossy, Virtus. Then as we slide up, this is an interesting shelf. It's all Montal and Mancera right here, with room for expansion, because I probably won't add too many more creeds. I'll add a few, so a lot of that space is going to end up being Mancera and Montal. But some of the highlights here I actually have lined up in the front, my favorites, as you would expect. No secret there for those of you that follow the channel. That's a stud. Vetiver Sensual. As we move up, the entire collection from Kajal Perfumes, minus the two releases that are recently announced, and some of my favorites. Massa, their newest release, is incredible. Lamar being, I think, the best of house. And then kind of the hype beast, because people compare it to like Niche Sauvage, would be Ferris, Barredo's Oud Immortel. Omar, School of Scents, Mr. Romantic from Atrium Fragrance. Very, very good. Kind of like La Nuit de Homme meets Armani Code, the Eau de Mo fragrances, Rose and Marius, Paradis Descends. You guys have heard me say a lot of great things about Eden. Parfums de Marly and Amouage, two of my personal favorites. Epic Man being my jam. Then as we move up, M. Micallef and Argos, as well as the Narcotica fragrances here in the back. Gin Tonic, underappreciated release from this year. Juliet has a gun fragrances here. Blueberry Aquatic and Ego Stratus. Italib d'Orange, my wife's favorite. That's why it's in the front, so she can randomly steal sprays. Lychee, Woods, Greens, Orient Express from the Fleurs de Gulf, her favorite. Basically minty, fresh, kind of like 50% Aventus. Like, this is a little bit better than Aventus. Frappin, 1270. BDK Rouge Smoking. Just a bunch of variety, random niche hang out back here. Then we have the car company fragrances. Mercedes-Benz, it takes up quite a bit of space here with the variety of lines that I have. An all-time great here. Now, all my backup bottles are in boxes. I don't have any backup bottles displayed. Bentley fragrances, Ferrari, Jaguar, and so on. John Barbados, personal favorite, as well as Davidoff fragrances. I'm a big fan of both of these houses. There's a lot of great stuff here. This is basically a more aquatic YSLY, a little bit more salty and musky. And then this is like my favorite green. It's colored and named wrong. It's a green fragrance. The ultimate for spring. Nobody can convince me otherwise. And then my favorite cool water flankers right here in the front. With the Parfum, we have Bulgari, which doesn't get enough love. Glacio Essence is phenomenal in my opinion. Azzaro, another house that gets a lot of love on this channel. Azzaro Pour Homme, Chromes, Wanted, Issey Miyake. A lot of love for the house from me as of late, especially for their newest release, Issey Miyake L'Odyssey Pour Homme Vetiver. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. And then Paco Rabanne, the 1 Million line. We have Ultra Red Man in the back, and then all of the Invictuses, which this is one backup bottle that's sitting here. This is a backup of Aqua 2018. It's just a loose bottle, so I figured I'd leave it there. Lacoste, Tommy Bahama, which, in my opinion, this is the best of the Maritime line. The newest one, Maritime Voyage, is gorgeous. And then all-time great vacation fragrance in St. Bart's. as we slide across, got a bunch of random cheapies. Perry Ellis on the left side. Nautica, quite the variety. We have Niche for All, which Pineapple Oak. I would say if you're going to try one from them, Pineapple Oak would be the one to check out. It's kind of like Hachibat meets Aventus. Then we have some of my favorites from Dossier. Musky Green Tea, which is Silver Mountain Water. My all-time favorite, Fresh Woody number 4. They don't make anymore, which is Polo Blue Eau de Parfum. Michael Malone over here. Michael Jordan Fragrances, the infamous most hated fragrance on this channel. I can't get rid of it just to use it as an example. Then as we slide up, some more random cheapies. Strike Gold Shave, Penguin, Cremo Fragrances. Just a bunch of random variety. And then now these last 3 shelves with Middle Eastern stuff. So we've got Latafa and Rayon Tradition here, which strongly encourage you to check out Badi Al Oud Sublime. It's a beautiful fruit punch, fruity rose fragrance. Some $15 steals. Pineapple, Saffron, and Woods with Kate Alferson. And then Aquatic and Cardamom is Ijazi Intensive Silver. That's around 15 bucks as well. Then as we slide over, we got some Alexandria fragrances, Sensual Obsessions, which that's not Middle Eastern, but that kind of fit right there perfectly. And then we have Afnan, Rubroca, more Afnan, Al Haramine in the back. Then we have Fragranza over here. As we slide up, this is the Paris Corner section. Some of my favorites up front, Camaro Homme Intense, Vintage Dior Homme Intense. I love this. Kisa, one of their newer releases. Rifakat, Baby Cat clone. It's phenomenal. Then we have Kahila Platinum, which is basically Le Beau Eau de Toilette. Cedrat Essence, another highlight for me. Smells like a fresher Cedrat Boisé. Trillium, I wear all the time. We've got some more moths. Mostly Club de Nuit fragrances. Obviously my favorites right up here. Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition Parfum. If you want an Eau de Parfum version of Versace Mano Fresh, do yourself a favor and get Aura Fresh. It lasts longer. It's not as loud, but it lasts longer. Genre Parfums. Obviously this little bit isn't Middle Eastern, but I have Mega Dave's 2 releases with Dua hanging out over here. Oh So Fresh number 1, then Oh So Fresh One Night Stand number 2 hiding back here. Some collaborations from Dua, Rasasi, my Lonesome Fragrance World collection minus 1 that's on the table. Some randomness here, and then Cuddlage. Like I said, I have my favorites up front. Lafetti Intoxicated, Angel Share Clone, Woody Aventus with Infini Absolute, and basically Reflection Man with Shiaka. That's some of my personal favorites. So, and then just to jump over here, what's on the table? Boss Bottled Elixir I just wore, Hollister Wave X, as well as, this is stuff I'm planning on wearing this week from Paris Corner, Opulent Flame, Boss Bottle Pacific, Ambassador Intense, YO Fresh. Plan on wearing Silver Mountain Water. And then lastly, this is what I'm wearing today. I'm about to go live here in just a minute. Got my setup over there. You can see me in the camera, holding my camera in the top screen. I'm using my phone right now because it's just easier. This is from Fragrance World. This is a clone of Le Male Le Parfum, and I've had it on for 2.5 hours now at the recording of this. And I only have 4 sprays around the back and sides of my neck, and I have not stopped smelling myself. This is I'm working on a full review right now. This is a phenomenal $29 clone of Le Male Le Parfum. They did a great job. Well, for those of you that have been waiting on this video, I hope it's everything you hoped it would be. Just a quick peruse, as quick as I could be anyways, around the collection. With just going over a few highlights, because if I was to go through every single fragrance, God knows how long this video would be. It's including samples and decants and stuff. Those are in boxes. Backup bottles and gift sets are in boxes. I have much more than what we just looked through here, but as far as just individual bottles, we covered it, guys. So until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. Let me know down below, what'd you think? Some stuff you were kind of surprised to see, some about what you expected. Terrible collection, phenomenal collection, whatever. I can take it all. I want to hear it down below. What do you guys think? And thank you for requesting this and staying on me over the years. It wasn't too bad. Now that I have everything displayed, it wasn't too bad to go through. Whereas my setups prior, it would have been a nightmare to do this video. And until next time, I will say, well, we didn't discuss a fragrance or topic like we normally do, so I'll just leave it with this. If you end up getting your hands on any of the stuff that I wear on a regular basis anyways, you give them a spray now, you might end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.